Well, boils and ghouls, it's your old pal, John Kassir, the voice of the Crypt Keeper. And I want to welcome my good fiends of the Horror Heals podcast. Is horror good for mental wellness? But of course it is. I delight in the delicious deaths of pitiful people on the silver screen. So get ready for a hell of a good time with my new fiends, Corey and Kendall, on the Horror Heals podcast.
Welcome back, horror fam, to the second part of our spine-tingling chat with Tonia and Tonie, the spooky twins. If you thought the first half was a scream, wait until you hear this one.
That's right. From cosplay mashups like Animal Crossing meets horror to their love for obscure cult classics, these two are serving up creativity, chaos, and a whole lot of laughs.
Plus, we're diving into the great horror debate. Is Gremlins a horror movie, a Christmas movie, or both? Spoiler alert, it gets heated. So grab your popcorn and maybe a kerosene-laced whiskey, and let's jump in.
We've not been making stuff here recently because we've been working on some cosplay. We try to do some cosplay on the side when we go to cons. And we're doing Red and Tom Nook from Animal Crossing.
Yeah, very cool.
That ought to be silly. But we've done other stuff in the past. We did Us. I don't know if you guys have seen Us. Jordan Peele's Us. We did. I did the red jumpsuit, and sister was the normal person. So
the normal person. But Us is fantastic. If you haven't seen it, it's because it's doppelgangers.
I know. Yeah, I typically don't do cosplay. Like my attire at horror conventions is like really wild, glittery suits. But the one time I did do cosplay as I'm going to mangle his name, the Tim Heidenberger, the neighbor character, like his doppelganger. So I had the red jumpsuit and the scissors and the the wig and all that stuff. That was the one time.
Nice.
Oh wow, yeah. Okay,
Nice.
That's cool.
We have been making a lot of Fallout stuff lately because that's kind of stuck in our craw. It was such a good show. We're not video game dudes over here.
Like, I mean, I'll play like like the matchy type of stuff or whatever on my phone. But I started watching Fallout because I love Walton Goggins, and yeah, it's fun.
It was great. I have a trouble playing first person perspective games. So sister plays games and then tells me about them.
Yeah, I tell her about it. So everything she knows about a lot of first person games, she knows because of me.
Borderlands and Outlast and Fallout and it's sad because so many horror games are first person perspective and I can't play them. So I miss out on a lot, but I get told about all of it though. I know all the lore and I know everything about Leland Coyle right now, so I can tell you that.
I know what you're talking about.
My godson just turned 13, and he's a big gamer, of course, because I think every kid that age is, and so he wants to show me like all these memes, and I have no idea what they mean because I don't know anything. But so something that we like to ask all our guests here is, who is your favorite final person? I know that final girl is sort of a term, but we try to be all inclusive here. So, yeah. Who's your favorite final person?
McCready from The Thing.
That didn't take long.
Oh no, yeah, he's the best. He's like balls to the wall, the perfect example of exactly how a final person should be. Just because Childs is, I think Childs was gone. I think McCready was the last one. I do. Personal opinion. I think so. I think the light was out in his eyes. And I think that whiskey, I think the drink he gave him at the end had kerosene in it. And when he took it and drank it, because you can see McCready, he shakes his head. He's like, okay.
Now I got to go back on the pot.
I know. We're going to have to.
Thanks, Tonia. Now we got to go back and rewatch the thing tonight.
Again.
You should be watching it every day anyway.
There you go.
And, just side note, just so excited that Carpenter's getting his star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame next year. Like, so well deserved.
Right, it's about time.
Wow. And Robert Englund,
yes.
Shout out to both of them, putting it out in the universe. If they want to come on board, they are more than welcome anytime. O'clock in the morning, I don't care.
Yeah.
All right. So Tony, favorite final person.
I'm gonna say Sally from Texas Chainsaw Massacre because that's my favorite movie.
Now, what I know the recent Netflix sequel was kind of controversial. What did you think about that with the return of the Sally character?
I loved it. I am a chainsaw horror. I don't care what they make and what it looks like. I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah.
You know, I think people are way too precious about films.
Yes.
I get a lot of flack because I really like a lot of remade stuff or a lot of reimagined stuff. And my thing is that they're putting this stuff out there and they're getting it back into people's consciousness and people are talking about it again. So do it, remake it. I mean, we cover songs all the time. Why can't we cover movies? You know what I mean? You know, Shakespeare has been done how many times?
There you go.
You have
Shakespeare wrote Hamlet, and it's been done and done.
Good point.
So why can't we do the same thing with films? You know, and I don't see when people had a problem with the Netflix. The Netflix one was fantastic. I'll tell you what was good was the one, I think it was put out in 2000. I want to say it was 16 with where she was cousins with Leatherface.
Yes.
God, that was I love that one so much. It was so great. They're all great. Yeah. They're all so great, you know? And I think it's from growing up, when we were talking earlier about growing up and having to read the boxes and not having a lot of access to it. And you just can't click. Okay, there it is. You know, you had to go to it to be able to find it. And to have all this stuff coming to you now is like, yeah, I'll eat that. I'll eat one of those. I'm going to eat that too. I'm going to eat everything. You know what I mean? And that's basically what it's become now. Movies have become a buffet, you know, and when you've been starving your whole life, you're going to eat everything that comes your way and it's going to be great. And we're going to love it. I don't know. And maybe I'm a little bit too loosey about it. But it's just, and then there's points where I'm like, you know, really? Does that really have to happen? But at the same time, I kind of have to keep in mind, somebody out there likes that. Somebody out there wants that to happen. That's fine. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I would like to see Sally get a little bit more kick-ass time, you know, in that sequel.
Yeah.
You said the final moment with the chainsaw and the head coming off was like, I did not see that coming, and that was like, whoa. And then
you don't. Yeah, it's fantastic.
Well, it's like the prequel with The Thing. Everybody made such a big deal about how crappy it was, and I'm not going to watch it, and it's awful. But it was fantastic. I stood in the theater and gave it and clapped because I'm an idiot. But yeah, it was great. It was great. And the best thing about it that I found, and I know the CGI was blah, 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 blah. We need to see the cut with the proper, whatever. I don't care. More thing is better than no thing. I don't care.
Yeah.
But the best thing about it is there was two gentlemen in front of us in the audience, and they were super getting into the movie, and they loved it, and they were hooting and hollering, and we were too. It was great. And then at the very end, when the dog's running across the snow, and the beginning of the next one basically starts during the end credits, one of the guys actually said, "Oh my God, this was before all of that. This is the beginning of the other movie." And I was like, "Are you?"
That's so funny.
I don't think people didn't know that. They don't realize it. Mm-hmm.
They thought it was a sequel. They didn't know it was a prequel because it was billed. So many people kept calling it a sequel. And I'm like, oh man. And it was such a love letter because they did frame by frame shots for their storyboards to make sure that everything matched. And oh my God, I cried. It was amazing. And people it gets so much hate for no reason. Give it up, people. It's pizza. It's pizza. You're going to eat it.
Exactly. No, you're like,
if it's school pizza or if it's a fancy, gourmet pizza, it's still pizza. What is your problem?
Yes. We watch bad horror movies all the time, and it's like, and we'll rate them. And Kendall is a harsh critic.
I am. Being a movie that I would give it a 2. He's like, yeah, I'd give that a C+.
I'm like, what?
Yeah.
I think,
man, you sound like us.
Automatically, though, if he stays awake through an entire horror movie, that should be a B minimum, right? There, because he can't.
It's my body. If it's after dinner and there's a puppy on my lap, forget about it.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Really?
I can respect that. Tonia's got a Tonia's gauge is it Tonie good or is it actually good? Because I like a lot of really bad. I adore full moon. I absolutely adore full moon videos. I'll tell you what, I like the old school stuff because sometime around like Head of the Family and Blood Dolls, I think it's probably when it started going downhill. Blood Dolls is not. Blood Dolls is the best. But sometime after Blood Dolls and that storyline, the movie started going downhill. They started getting a lot more about TNA, and they're kind of gross now. And I don't know. It's a little awkward, I think. But a lot of the
But I want you to roll that back and hear that phrase again, and that will tell you the caliber of film we're talking about. Blood Dolls is the best. So that will give you the area that you're working on here for what she considers to be and here are the air quotes because I'm doing it, a good film.
Yeah.
Do you guys watch a lot of full moon?
I definitely have. Definitely in the past, definitely, when I was a kid and renting, but not so much recently.
Yeah, but now we will.
Now we. I don't think I've ever seen Blood Dolls, so now maybe I can.
Oh my god!
Blood Dolls.
Oh my god! Blood Dolls is the best. It's got like puppets, like from Puppet Master, but not the Puppet Master puppets. It's like different puppets, and they're totally racist. There's a dwarf, and there's a clown. And he's like a preacher, and then there's a guy with.
Oh my god! What an awful movie!
There's a guy with a head the size of an avocado, and there's a girl band in a cage, and the soundtrack is amazing.
It's exactly what it sounds like. You guys enjoy that punch in the gut.
Oh, it's so good.
I mean, but I love like the cheesy, low budget stuff.
Yeah.
Like have you seen Oopsie?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, demonic toy.
I like that actor. I think she's a riot girl on videos and stuff. But
Oh my god! Right. Now, I haven't watched like Killer Bong or Ginger Dead Man. I haven't seen Killjoy. I think it's some of the stuff that's coming out now. A lot of that stuff I haven't watched. But I have the older things like Doll Man and Demonic Toys and Puppet Master and.
Now, Puppet Master is a good series. I do like that series. I will get into some Puppet Master.
Now they do get pretty awful towards the end. Like Axis of Evil, I think was just stupid.
Yeah. There's a point where you have to. It's like Resident Evil. The first one was good. The old Resident Evil. The first one was good. The second one starts getting kind of, and then after that, I just can't watch them anymore.
Harder.
yeah.
You know what a great series is Phantasm is a great series. Let's talk about Phantasm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Wonderful Phantasm.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Kendall's not a huge Phantasm fan, but I love them.
That's another one. That's another childhood one. Our parents showed us that one, and we had watched. Was it on air in Japan?
Oh,
Yes.
Or was it? It was. I think it was actually on air.
wow.
Yeah, it was
And,
on a Japanese television show. Uh-huh.
So, and there was the part where he's in the bushes and he's watching everything that's happening, and he mouths out, "What the
Yeah.
fuck?" They actually said it was in Japanese. You could hear it, and we were so jealous because we didn't know what he was
Sure.
saying,
And our parents
and our
wouldn't
mother
tell
would
us.
not tell us.
Yeah. And it took us years before we found out that he was saying what the fuck. You know? Yeah.
But yeah, the tall man, and great movie.
I guess it's like a arc of maturity for me because when I was younger, I loved Reggie. I thought Reggie was the best and he was so sexy and he was so great. And then when I got up to a certain age, I was like, oh my God, Reggie's just an absolute dirtbag.
He is a derp.
Like, oh no.
What is wrong with me? But I like
That's
him
one
like
of the
that.
problems. That's one of the problems too. Is from being from a lady point of view, from a feminist point of view, is that as you got older and you go back and you watch these films, you really have to edit. You just have to let some of it go because it's just the way it was. We do better now. We do better now. We need to do better now. But it's the way it was, and you can't change that.
Yeah, no.
And I think that's why I enjoy The Thing so much, is that there's none of that at
True.
all. It doesn't exist. There's no sexual tension. There's no girlfriends. There is a female voice on the computer, and that is it. Everything is focused on the monster and the paranoia and what is happening in the moment. And I do not mind a romance story. Don't get me wrong. I love a good romance. Actually read Twilight. Didn't care for it, but I like a good romance. But when it comes to The Thing, it just doesn't suck any of that in. It's about something else.
Well, you raise an interesting point because we're going to have Andre Gower from Monster Squad on the show, and Kendall didn't remember
Nice.
Monster Squad, so we started watching it the other night. And I mean, in the first 5 minutes, it's like,
Yeah, that's out.
yeah,
Ouch. Yeah.
there's some stuff.
That
It's
was
like,
like-
There's a character, and then the character's name is Fat Kid.
it's like, oh, come on now, that's not,
Right.
not
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, I went back and watched that one about a year or so ago, and I was like, oh wow.
Yeah, the 80s. Yeah,
Oh my God. After a few minutes, I was like, okay, I need to take a break. I need to go. Can't do this right now.
Yeah, I mean, just
And that's funny because the kind of movie that people expect to be the kind of movie you'd have to take a break from is like Human Centipede. And we did. We took a break. We took a break halfway through that film because we kind of needed a mental clear. But it's interesting that Monster Squad, you do too. You have to take a break because of just because it's just so awkward and it just makes you so uncomfortable. It's a different kind of horror.
no. And this is interesting because this is an continuing argument in Kendall as we do this series. He doesn't consider like horror comedies to be really like horror, like Monster Squad. So Kendall said something very controversial. I think he said Gremlins is not a horror movie.
It's a Christmas movie.
Say it again.
It's a Christmas
Well, it is a
movie.
Christmas. You're right. It is a Christmas movie, but I still consider it a horror movie.
It is a horror movie,
Yes.
though. Yeah, it's a horror movie.
No,
yeah.
it's.
Why do you not consider it a horror movie?
I love it. Don't get me wrong. It's just I don't think there's one. For me, was I scared? And I don't think there's one scary moment in it. And like for me, I'm like,
That's a horror comedy.
yeah. I know.
And I would say,
Kind of like Tucker and Dale. I mean, Tucker and Dale's a horror
That's
comedy.
right.
I'd still consider it horror, though.
and I think like it's probably been a while since Kendall's, but like the scene with the mother versus the Gremlins. There's some scary moments there. You know, the Gremlins in the Christmas tree
There's some pretty tense. Yeah.
getting attacked.
There's some pretty tense moments in that movie. Yeah. Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, you're wrong.
Okay.
Yeah, we voted.
Well,
you're wrong.
I know. Well,
I need to rewatch. I need to
it's going
rewatch.
to continue to be like a thing.
For sure.
Because like I'm like one of our dream guests is Joe Dante, and he's definitely. I mean, he's horror, but
gosh.
like he's also done the horror comedy stuff too.
I'm not saying it's not legitimate.
Yeah.
It's just not what I think of.
Oh, listen to him. You're floundering.
No.
now.
It's like I just don't think of it as horror. It's like, oh yeah, well,
Yeah.
people think of it as horror. I
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay to be mayor of Long Island. You live on Long Island,
Hey.
Tony.
And I think it's like, well, it's introductory horror too. It's like it's like introducing kids to horror. So your Gremlins, your Monster Squad, your Gate, that stuff. Like
Allow the gate with
It
you.
is, and
Yeah.
okay. I'll admit when I'm possibly wrong.
everybody's entitled to their opinion, how silly it is.
Yes, that's right.
Whether it's wrong, just because it's wrong doesn't make you a bad
That's
person.
right.
It's just
That's
wrong.
right. Corey's been dealing with this for 19 years.
Yeah. And I think that horror movies are like we do like differ in our opinion, like debate quite a bit, probably more than anything else. Maybe RuPaul's Drag Race. Those two, I think, are probably our biggest debates.
Yep.
So, well, this has been a joy. I knew from watching your Instagram yesterday that this was going to be a lot of fun, and we love what you guys are doing, and definitely want to come see you at a con.
Thank you.
Well, I think it's safe to say we're leaving this episode with a longer watch list and a ton of laughs. Tonia and Tonie, you've officially made us rethink everything from The Thing to Blood Dolls.
And let's not forget the wisdom we gained. Horror is like pizza. Whether it's gourmet or school lunch quality, it's still horror, and we'll eat it up.
To our listeners, follow the Spooky Twins on Instagram at SpookyTwins13 for more hilarious, creepy, and creative vibes. And if you haven't already, go watch The Thing daily if possible.
And remember, folks, whether it's doppelgangers in jumpsuits or gremlins in Christmas trees, horror is what you make of it. Stay spooky, stay silly, and we'll see you next time.
Bye for now.
Oh yeah, and don't smooch unless you want an arrow to the throat. And remember, when someone asks, is horror good for mental wellness? You tell them, of course it is. The Horror Heals podcast is produced and presented by How the Cow Ate the Cabbage, LLC.